For this morning's pose, I'm just telling you this because if you need to grab something, you can use bolsters or pillows, and you can use blocks. So we're gonna do a Sphinx this morning, but we're gonna do a little breathing first. So you can use a blanket, or normally I have that big yellow bolster if you do need more support for the Sphinx, and we'll get to the Sphinx, but basically, when you are in it, you could put your pillows or your bolster, underneath your belly so that you have a little more support, or you could even have it under the hips. Like if somebody's pregnant, sometimes they'll put it under the hips. So grab your props and we will get to that. But just a little synopsis of what we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall first. Good morning. And roll your shoulders back. Just kind of bring yourself fully here and now. And then forward. And then up. Really squeeze them up. And then a little bit back and down. Bring your hands into Gaya Mudra and just sit here nice and tall. So I want you to focus on your spinal column. So really feel what it's feeling like this morning. You can lightly lengthen it, so kind of lift the top of the head upward towards the ceiling, so you feel that extension on your spine. And then also feel like you're grounding, you're rooting the base of the spine into the earth. So just as you're seated here, light adjustments to the spine. And breathe very slowly. You can breathe Ujjayi breath, so lightly contracting the back of your throat, so it sounds a little bit like the ocean. And see if while you're breathing, you can imagine a pillar of light coming up the spine with the inhale, and then back down the spine with the exhale. And just notice what you notice. Notice if any areas in the spine are feeling a little more contracted, a little more tight, whatever word you want to use, but not as open. Sphinx targets the entire spinal column, and it can help people who do have, lumbar issues, lower lumbar issues, herniated discs, things like this. But however, if you do have already projects you're working on with your spinal column, of course, always speak to your doctor. And then also you can reach out to me and let me know so that I can give you adjustments, whether it is even just a prop, right? So, and keeping that in mind, it also targets the kidneys and the urinary tract. So it's a really, besides being a heart opener, it's a back bend basically, but we're up in Sphinx. So just kind of send a little attention to your spinal column before we get into this posture, and do a little check-in, see how it is feeling this morning. You can internally, as you're just sitting here and breathing, chant the mantra Om Namo Gurudev Namo, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So just silently, as you breathe, as you're still checking in with your spine, you're sucking the tummy in, so just keep lengthening these little micro adjustments. Guru Name, Jagat Guru Name, Sat Guru Name, Siddhi Guru Deve Name, Ad Guru Name, Jagat Guru Name, Sat Guru Name, Siddhi Guru Deve Name, Ad Guru Name, Jagat Guru Name, Sat Guru Name, Siddhi Guru Deve Name. All right, and let's take another Inhale, feeling that space between your shoulders and your ears. And exhale. Okay, so let's come into our posture. And today, because of the way we're doing it, we're gonna not do the 3 stages. All of you have done that with me before, so you know the posture, or you are familiar with it. So I want you to just experiment with how you want to be in the posture, because yin, everything is correct as long as you're not feeling any pinching or tingling or that like bzz, like electrical type of pain. Then you need to come out of the posture, not do it at all, or find different props. But generally speaking, if you're deciding to go lower or higher, each way that you're in it is going to target a different area. And I'll talk about that a little bit more once we're in the posture. So we're going to get in the posture, and then we're going to hold it probably about 4 or 5 minutes, okay? So grab your props. And again, what you can do is I showed you in the beginning. So we're going to come on our belly. Your legs can be either a little more together or a little apart. So you want to choose where you want your legs to be. And then I want you to come up in your Sphinx. And again, if you feel you would like pillow underneath your rib cage, then go ahead and do that. If you feel you want to, obviously if you have them under your hips, you're going to have more of a back bend. You're going to have more compression also on the lumbar spine. So kind of experiment with how you want to be in the Sphinx. You can put a block or a pillow and have your head on it. You can have it a little lower or a little higher. You can have your elbows on the ground and just have your chin into your hands. So just close your eyes. Yin is the moon. It's the hidden, it's the subconscious or even the unconscious. And kind of feel where you want to be in your posture. And then we're going to hold in that stillness. So with your head, and I would suggest, having the head supported if you can. You can also not have it. You could have it stretched back, looking up. That's a little more active. Yin, however, is an active practice. So, you're just using a little bit more of your muscles, your ligaments and joints if you do choose to have your head up like this. But even if it's up, you could have maybe, a block. This could feel good to people who, are always sitting on a computer, playing computer games, who are always having that chin forward. So find your posture and close your eyes and hold it. And notice what you notice. And again, the only time I want you to, change it is if you're feeling pinching, tingling, or numbness. Then we definitely need to adjust you or use different props or not do it at all, right? And as you're breathing, just notice how your heart feels. This obviously also stimulates the entire front of the body. So your stomach, it is a heart opener. When I do the video, I'll post a picture of the kidney, the urinary meridians, so you can see how this is targeted on the back of the spine. This also depending on how you have your head. So again, don't change what you're doing. You want to notice what you're doing. If your head is forward completely, like chin to chest, or like I said, if it's back, that's a nice release, because most of us are kind of sitting on a computer or driving or having this kind of forward motion of the head. But interestingly enough, if your head is kind of up, actually down as well, it stimulates your thyroid. So that's good. So lots of different benefits. That's why I always say, you know, trust where you're at, that this is what your body needs right now. All right, and just breathe here.
Yum. Yum.
Notice how your shoulders feel, that space between your shoulders and your ears. Notice how your neck feels, your upper chest. Notice how your breath feels. We generally don't want to change our breath with yin. We just want to notice it. Notice if it's feeling a little restricted in any areas. Because it's the moon, you know, the yin is the moon, yang is the sun. The sun is, you know, what's very obvious. It's kind of the exterior. And yin, you know, like as I've mentioned many times, it can be more this hidden thing. This is why the practice is such a beautiful practice, because we can dive into these deeper areas and notice something and go, oh, wow, you know, that's interesting that I chose to do this, or that I felt maybe a little tension in my heart area. And with that knowledge, we can, you know, do a little research. I'm happy if you want to reach out to me if you noticed something, and send me a WhatsApp or a message. And yeah, it's usually uncovering. Sometimes we can feel emotions when we're in a yin posture, because science has proven we store emotions in the fascia, and we store programs also, like ancestral programs of family stuff. So it can just help us be a little more in the driver's seat. Another 30 seconds.
Yum. Yum.
And just begin to bring your consciousness, your awareness back to the breath. And we want to very consciously come out of this posture. So if you do have, you know, props, you might kind of roll a little to the side, remove your props from your hips, but stay with your spine as much as you can as it is. And then we're gonna just very gently come forward onto our bellies. And for our counter, we're gonna do a nice, beautiful counter. I haven't done this one with you guys in a while. I think the last time we did it was live. So you're going to turn your head to one side. So your cheek will be to your mat. You can use your hands if that feels good to you, and just place your cheek on your palm. And then whichever direction your head is facing, go ahead and pull that side knee up into a little bit of a frog position. And we're just gonna hold here. You can do the opposite side with the knee, you know, where your head's turned, but that's a little more intense. So I just kind of wanted to do it this way this morning. And breathe here, and we'll stay here about a minute before we do the other side. And this just helps relieve the sacrum, the lumbar spine, the lower spine. We do put a little bit of pressure on that. And Sphinx, just stay there and breathe. You know, if you find this feeling really good to you, you know, you're welcome to do it again throughout the day. And then, you know, if you feel like you want to do deeper, you can come into the seal, which is higher up, and you can use props for that. But This is also a very nice, gentle way to release, which is kind of what our focus is the last couple weeks prior to the New Year's. Okay, and just bring your leg back down, and then very gently, first having your head straight, and then turn it to the other side. Once you're there, pull the knee up from the other side. And breathe. I'm definitely feeling this less is more right now, you know, very much practicing a lot of self-care, a lot of reflection right now. Extremely important and beneficial to review, you know, these last few days before we're coming into this new energy of the new moon on January 2nd, of course, the new year, where we can plant our intentions for how we want to be for 2022. Okay, take another couple breaths there. And then very gently also coming back to center, and you can place your hands under the shoulders and kind of press up into a cat stretch. So just kind of round the spine, chin to chest. And coming back to seated. Now, if you are feeling like you need a little more counter, we're going to sign off for this morning. But if you are feeling like you need a little more counter, you can come into child's pose, you know, and stay there another couple minutes. But go ahead and come on up if you're feeling good. And I'm going to wish you guys a beautiful day. And I will see you tomorrow. All right. Bye, much love.